All right, welcome on back in, guys. Again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Here we are with our next video. The last video we did was getting into orbit. Here I created off stream this ship here, the Kerbal Tours Mark II. So this would be a ship essentially built to take tourists up and orbit the moon, or not the moon, but the Kerbal here. Now, I tried to test it off stream to see if we'd be able to get it out to the moon, but we just don't have the science or the boosters. I mean, if I could do it, it'd just be a little bit more challenging, and wouldn't be tour based. It would be more just the main pod getting out there, and then having different stages getting us there and home. But we wouldn't be able to tour, so that's where right now we're gonna get up. We're gonna take our crew, everybody with us. Good old Jebediah is gonna be our pilot, and we're gonna take everybody. And by getting into orbit, we'll be able to get everybody to the 1 stars like Jebediah had. Getting into orbit and then coming back down. I also created, using the same ship as a tour and rescue. So I did, this one is just the tours, and then I have a tour and rescue similar to this ship here, where I can be able to try to rescue people, Kerbals that are Kerbal astronauts that are stranded in space. But here we go. We're gonna go ahead and we're going to launch. So as we've stated before, we want to click the left stick in to pull up the cursor here. Come down here, get our height. Click left stick in again to remove cursor. Click circle, or B if you're on the Xbox, to toggle the SAS. Up on the D-pad, down on the D-pad is your throttle. L1 and down or up is the micro throttling, up or down. And then X or A, if you're on the Xbox, will be what you would launch with, and then go through stages. Now, I believe we have a mission here. Okay. I don't know if this is gonna work. But we're not going to decouple the booster here, so we'll see. If not, we'll have to create a little mini test to do the radial. All right, Jebediah, time to get us into space. You would go for launch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We hit X, and we're launching. Now, as we go up, to go ahead and hit left stick in, we want to toggle our prograde. You'll be able to do that when your pilot is a 1 star, or if you have certain flight gear through the science tree. trying to tip over, but we're not tipping. Coast up a little bit and release. Now we want to go ahead and put back on stability assist and start turning over. And I'm hitting right trigger to toggle over to the 90 here. And this is now where we want to watch this. We want to try to get these both to 70 or greater. Now our apoapsis is going to be putting us into space. Go ahead and decouple there. And then we coast up. So we're going to throttle down, turn on the engine. And once we hit space, we want to turn it back on. Now we hit space. Throttle up. And now we want to try to circle out here. And the best part is hopefully trying to maintain around 30 seconds away from the apoapsis, if we can do so. Orbit here. Alright, stage did not get us all the way into orbit, so we'll have to decouple. Punch it in. Now we'll have plenty of fuel to get into orbit this time. And this is why this ship is mainly a orbit tour ship / recovery, because with 700 Delta V, go, and now we are in space. We'll go ahead and we'll hit square on the hatch here, and we'll turn the lights on for our astronauts. Let them see dark. Alright, so we got that. We'll go ahead and we'll extend our antenna. While we're out here, we want to go ahead and try to get some science now. We want to run the pressure. Alright, we already got that. Okay, now this is the perfect time. Now I'm kind of stuck in orbit view. So I'm going to hit the right stick to switch to free camera. Now this allows me to be able to move freely with the right stick. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna check temperature. All right. About the goo. Got goo. We got the goo. All right. Let's go ahead and log that. Now, what we can do here is come here and we're going to transfer crew. We're going to transfer Jebediah. Now nobody's piloting the ship at this point. So then what we're going to do, want Bob. Transfer Bob up here. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to have Bob hop out of the ship, doing an EVA. Right? Now he's going to collect, because your scientists are going to be who can collect and reset certain science gear. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to have him collect that science. And we're going to have him restore it. Now what that does is that allows that science to be used again. Versus it being stuck. In the previous videos, as you saw, when you use it, it was kind of stuck. Now with a scientist, it's what allows you to be able to gather that science data and then bring it back inside, and then you have that for use again later. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to board. So we gathered the science. We can't log the temperature, can't log the pressure. We've already gathered the goo, the GABA goo. And then we're going to go ahead, transfer Bob back to his quarters. And then we're going to transfer Jeb back to ship command. Now, that has allowed us to be able to do that. Now, if you have a full crew here, you won't be able to transfer. So if we had a tourist plus my 3 astronauts and pilot, I wouldn't be able to transfer. You need to have one open spot to kind of be able to transfer through your ship. Now, from here, we're going to go ahead and prepare. Come down. We're going to go ahead and switch this to surface because we want to come back down. And we're going to toggle our ship retrograde. Now, retrograde is meaning the other way. Prograde going forward, retrograde going the other way. So now we are still climbing. So I hit, to get to the world view, you hit L1 and R1 at the same time. That'll bring you to the world view. And then this is where you can see our orbit here. That's that blue. And then we have the moon, which is the mun in this game. And then we have Minmus, which is the second moon in our little planetary system. And then we have our planets and their own planetary system. Sun, Mohole, which would be Mercury, Eve, which would be Venus, Kerbal, which is Earth, Duna, which is Mars. Strays, which would be Jupiter. And Jewel, which would be Saturn. And Elo, which would be here. Now we don't have a Neptune or a Pluto. Now that people on PC, they get that because they download like the mod, outer planets mod or something like that. All right, so you want to go ahead and we could either just warp up here and do that, or I'm going to show you how we could do like a maneuver. Now, if I wanted to add a maneuver to, say, go to, the moon, it's obviously not the best way to do it because I'm doing it at the high point, lowering my, extending my low point, which you burn more fuel. Now, the best time to burn would be at your low point, extending your high point. But so as you can see, that just to get there, we wouldn't even have enough fuel. Now we could get do something like this to get to there, but we're not. So that's kind of, if we did something like this, that would get us home, just not very efficiently. We'd be taking a while to get home. And coming in really hot and really fast. We can do it. That's all of our fuel right there. We would be stuck in orbit. Not right there, we wouldn't be. We would not be able to make any mistakes. But we're not going to do it. We accomplished our task. This is not a moon orbiter, but that's kind of how you would do it. So you would come in here, L1, R1 to get the world view, click on whatever point on the orbit you're trying to set up your maneuver, and you would hit X to add maneuver, and then R1 is what can toggle through. So this is your move bar. When it looks like that, this is how you can add your moves, whether you want to go out and toggling to L1 is going to how you toggle through. So the pink arrows is going to be how you rotate up, down, and then the blue arrows is going to be how you circular. Try to make it a little bit more circular. So, like if you're trying to have like a perfect orbit, you'll have to use that one. Don't need a maneuver though. cracked our antenna. Now we're going to burn. Alright. Coming back down. Now I'm gonna warp up to when we're coming back down. Alright. Wanna land. Surface here. We'll just burn off what fuel we have here. It's gonna significantly slow us down. Eject. Now, up here, we want to switch this. This is water. Your elevation above water. We are above land. We want to switch that to land. And we did not accomplish getting that. But we did get into orbit. And we are going to land. Now, as far as to if we land and the legs survive, I don't know about that. We shall see. Because those lander legs are not the best. It does look like we are going to land in a little bit of a hilly area. But we will be able to get some science data here. Because we're landing on the surface. Whoa! Geez, forces. See, right there, if we had the G-forces on, they all would have just died. Go ahead and we'll jettison the heat shield. And extend our lander legs. Now, while we're here, we can go ahead and check for science. Yep. I'm gonna go ahead. We want to keep that. Keep that. Keep that. Keep that. Go ahead and run a crew report on all these places. And then we'll run the ground crew report from the main pod. Transfer. Have them do an EVA. Like that. Store. An EVA report. Take the data. Import. So now we'll gather the temperature one time in the desert, the pressure twice, the goo one time in the desert, and then the EVA report. And I'm not sure if I'll be able to do surface sample or not. We'll see. Now, if these legs survive, we might be able to exit through the bottom here and plant the flag. But if the legs do not survive, we won't be able to exit the vehicle. Well, here we go. We're about to find out. Three, two, one. Touchdown. And they don't survive. That's all right. We expected such. So we'll go ahead and observe the goo. Log pressure. Log pressure. Do an EVA again. Right. Take data. Log refresh again. Select. Store. Observe again. Alright. Pressure. Temperature. EVA. And last crew report. Here we go. There's all of our science. So we gathered a good amount of science. We landed on the desert. We got everybody into orbit, so they should all become 1 stars now. Oh, we got 63 science now. All right. And there we are. So now we've tested the tour ship. It works. We got up into orbit. We were able to get our astronauts to 1 star. So that is how you can do that. Now, if you want to have a future video of me kind of breaking down how I build the ships, I kind of did a little bit in the one of my earlier videos. It's just some of the bigger builds can become a little bit timely of a process. So if you do want to see how to build ships, I at least like rockets. I got down pretty well. Now planes, again, I'm not the best at building planes. I haven't really mastered that. Rovers, I'm still working on trying to do myself. But rockets, I can throw together a pretty good rocket. Um, Especially once we get further down the line in science. Now, before we end the video, let's go ahead and see what science we can get. Just aviation. I don't really need this for any stuff that we're wanting to do at the moment. That's more for planes. Let's get to the moon and back, the area we want to get to. Be heavy rocketry. That'll help getting up. Fuel systems. That'll help in transit. You can have more fuel, bigger ship. That would be for more like if you're taking payloads up. So trying to launch like satellites, intricate satellites, that would be good because you have the cones that you could use to be able to, the protective cone. And then, now we're getting into landing, better the best, the next best landing gear. It's better flight controls and monopropellant. And then your science stuff, electricity, solar panels. Right now we just have batteries, so we don't have a way to generate power. We just have power. We have to take up power with us to go into space for certain craft. Now, when we get to here, we'll be able to put solar panels on there to collect power while in space. Now, my favorite solar panels are right here. That's my favorite solar panel. Big old solar panel. But yeah, no, that's the video. We just got into orbit with our astronauts. I might make another video here a little later. I'm not sure. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Again, playing Kerbal Space Program on the console, PlayStation 5. DLC, no mods or anything like that. But yeah, again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope everybody has a wonderful evening.